All right. Good morning, everyone. Boy, I meant to make this video over the weekend, but I had a friend visit me from Bangkok, so wasn't able to get out to make the video until Monday, today. And of course, here we go, my Taipei gate. The ride I'm going on this morning is pretty much a ride I take almost every day. You know, if I want to do the normal thing, I'll just simply go this route. Go through some beautiful temples. Strange. It's usually a lot more peaceful when you're in the inner city. Not so much traffic, but yeah, roll of the dice. Oh, that smells good. You know, having my friend visit me from Bangkok got me thinking about why do some people go to Bangkok and other people swear by Chiang Mai like I do? And that's a hard one to actually answer. I mean, I like going down to the islands as much as the next guy, but as far as living down in the islands, like a lot of people do, that's not really for me. Chiang Mai ticks off so many of the boxes for who I am and what I want to do during my retirement, that there's just no ignoring the fact that for me, Chiang Mai is probably the one place. Oh, I know what's going on here. All the kids are going to school. Every one of these cars I see going by is filled with kids with their school uniforms. There we go. Now, I mean, I grew up in a small town named Rostanora, right on the Persian Gulf. I mean, I used to camp on the beach. You know, the Gulf, right by the Gulf, and waves lapping up at just at sunrise, 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. Beautiful, wonderful. But boy, I was always glad to get back home, even as a kid, to wash that sand out of my hair and the salt off my back, and yeah. So I do like the islands, but for a limited amount of time. I'm not crazy about, I don't think I'd be crazy about living there for lengthy periods of time. I always liked this temple. It was destroyed by an earthquake hundreds of years ago, and actually this is the one they used to have the real jade Buddha in, that they took to Bangkok, put down in some nice temple down in Bangkok years and years ago. But they have a replica of one stuck up there on one of the sides, I believe. but it's one of the major tourist attractions, and I just pass by it every single day on my ride about town. But yeah, and as far as Bangkok goes, where my friend lives, again, that's a place I could do for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days to see the sights. But after 4 or 5 days, I just start getting jittery and nervous. You know, it's all that hectic back and forth, the traffic. And when I first came to Chiang Mai on vacation from Saudi back, oh God, 76 or 77. In fact, I was down in the islands, and somebody was talking about this mythical, this really relaxed town up north of Thailand, laid back, peaceful. The people were, I mean, the Thais are universally smiling and friendly, but this guy was saying it was even more so in the north, in this little town called Chiang Mai. So I forget which island I was on, but anyway, after hearing this, I just said, heck, I'm gonna go there. Rented a motorcycle, a Honda Big Wing. It's water cooled, 1000cc. I forget what it was called, Big Wing. But anyway, I got on that motorcycle. It was 5, 6 in the evening, and took off. Didn't stop until I got to Chiang Mai. And the roads were good. I mean, even in those days, the mid-70s, the roads were fine, just certain places. And what was it? I don't know, 12 hours, 10 hours, something like that. It was a long drive. But I remember coming into Chiang Mai. It was early morning. The sun was just coming up. And in those days, I came into Chiang Mai by the road by the Ping River, where the French embassy was, the British, or consulate was, the British consulate, and trees lining, no traffic, nice and quiet, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I fell in love with the place right then and there. Back on the street again. Oh God. Garbage guys. But I remember on that motorcycle ride up from Chiang Mai, I'd stop every so often to rest, get something to eat or gas. And I was riding without a helmet, of course, and every time I stopped, all of a sudden, my hair, I had long hair in those days, things were squirming around in my hair. And it turns out, as you're riding along, you really don't notice it, but your hair is catching mosquitoes. And when you stop, you finally notice the squirming around of all the bugs and mosquitoes that are in your hair. So that was pretty gross. But yeah, when I got here, it turned out they were right. I fell in love with this place. I mean, I was, again, on vacation from Saudi, so I was only in Thailand for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. And in Chiang Mai, when I got here, I stayed 3 or 4 days, not long, but long enough to get an impression of, boy, I'd like to go back there someday. And the funny thing is, again, growing up in the Middle East and spending all my life, not only growing up there, but working there, whenever I went to vacation, Thailand is one of those only countries that I'd go to when I had to leave, get on the airplane. It was always a feeling of, God, I'm not finished here. You know, I'm just not ready to leave. Oh, by the way, this is one of the major temples also. And again, like every morning I go circle this place. The interesting thing is this little temple off to the side here. If you go inside, on the right hand side and left hand side, the walls are painted. Beautiful paintings. And the reason they're painted is, I don't know, 300 years ago, I believe, 200 years ago, when this temple was constructed, this small one, the ruler in charge decided to get the most prominent Thai painter and the most prominent Chinese painter, and have each of them paint one side of that temple, this temple right here. And you know, ever since they painted it, you know, I guess it was a competition in those days. People have pretty much agreed that the Chinese guy won hands down. And as you go in, his wall is on the right hand side, and it's not a religious painting or anything like that. It's just a whimsical painting, and it's fun. I mean, literally, you can go in there and just trace his paintings for hours. And there's one section in there that I particularly enjoy about this. You find this little boy peeking in on this room where girls are taking showers or bathing. And it's really cute, really funny. And the guy that commissioned these paintings, the ruler, said that you cannot put your name on the walls on your paintings, because I don't want people to know who did it, because other rulers in surrounding areas would steal these guys. So what the Chinese guy did on the right hand side, he didn't sign his painting or anything like that, but he painted his portrait into the mural on the right hand side. Really interesting. Anyway, sorry for that aside. But yeah, it's every time I come to Thailand on the drive to the airport, and it's the only, I've been all over this world many times, many countries. Let's get by these guys. But it's the only country that I would have that feeling is I'm not done here. It's like, you know, yes, I've inhaled, but you're not allowing me to exhale. Just an incomplete feeling whenever I left Thailand. Oh, this is an interesting place too, right here. This place, you see, it's built off the ground. And actually, there's just that one little shutter window-like thing that you see there. This is built for a guy that was, again, hundreds of years ago, very famous, well known for meditating. And they built this specifically for him. And what he would do is to get a ladder, climb up there, and then close those shutters and meditate. And no windows, no nothing, no distractions. And, you know, after a few days when he was finished, or done with his meditating, he would call for the ladder, and they'd put it by that window, and he'd come down. Pretty interesting. I've never been in there. I'd like to go in there and try it out. But On the other side of that is where the monks, they're just having their breakfast right now. But a lot of retirees will, go and retire in the islands. And there's people that like the islands and the beach, the water, and I do too. But again, just for a couple days, a week. But one thing I have to say about Chiang Mai, it's been 6 years since I retired here, and there has not been a single day that when I've come out of my condo and walked around Chiang Mai, I haven't fallen in love with it again. 6 years of that, every day. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the charms of the city itself, the way it's built, the surrounding, you go for 20 minutes and you're out by some waterfall and some beautiful jungle. There's that, but also it's the people. Oh. I mean, all those advertisements about the Thai smile, I mean, it's true all over Thailand, absolutely. But here in Chiang Mai, it is in spades. Incredible. Now, my normal ride it's usually in Old Town, which is where we're at. It's of course, Old Town is it's the old town. It's the historical Chiang Mai, surrounded by a moat on all sides. And again, in 6 years driving around, I mean, I go into little back alleys I didn't even know were there, with fantastic looking little coffee places, restaurants. And I always tell myself, I got to come back here and try it. But I rarely manage to get back. Now here in the Old Town section of Chiang Mai, and actually all of surrounding Chiang Mai also, it's really, really easy to get around on a bicycle. And as far as safety, I mean, the speeds are pretty low. And I personally don't think there's a huge safety issue with riding a bicycle here. Here are the stalls I've been meaning to come to someday to eat. Every time I pass here, they're cooking something that's just dynamite. Oh, that fried chicken. That's the thing about Thailand. There are breakfast dishes that well, predominantly breakfast dishes, but they eat them anytime. But for breakfast, there's no, it's just another meal. I mean, you'll have fried chicken, you'll have Isan pork over rice. They'll eat for breakfast what they eat on any other meal. There are a few dishes that are recognized as, mostly eaten early in the day. What was that? Congee? It's rice porridge with a little bit of pork in there, which is pretty good, actually. Haven't had my breakfast yet, and I might have to think about that. Boy, I have no idea that this was going on. Wow, look at those things. Sale price on that thing, 20,000 baht. Wow. 130,000 baht. Whoa. Okay. Now, down this little alley, going nowhere, nondescript, I discovered one of the best places to get spaghetti. And she only makes so much food, and when she runs out, she's out. And she's usually out of what she's cooked in a matter of hours. There it is. Shu, S-H-U. And it says 11 o'clock is when she opens, 11 to 5. But, you know, again, she's probably out of food after a couple of hours. She's so popular. And it's just down this little alleyway here. Oh man, I just passed where they were flash grilling chili. That always kills me. That's like a toxin that chemical warfare or something. Oh my gosh, it smells great, don't get me wrong, fantastic smell, but oh my god, it hits your eyes and lungs. Now I like to come down this alleyway, kind of the bohemian part of Chiang Mai. A lot of good cafes, restaurants down here. And I usually come down just to where the market's beginning. Check out avocados, and I don't need any, so I'm okay. Well, they're just getting set up. This is early. I've heard people call this the backpacking part of Thailand, but I would say it's more of a gentrified backpacking. Not really the hardcore. Hi. Hardcore backpackers. This lovely alley here. The smells of coffee and spices that I don't know what they are, but they just smell good. Or maybe that could be incense. Maybe. Oh, let's see. Oh, thank God that shop is closed. This shop is my kryptonite. They make pastries in there that unbelievably good. And unfortunately, every time I go by, I seem to stop and pick something up. Now, Chiang Mai's right for me. I mean, any city that for 6 years, every day, is able to raise my juices at some point during the day, is doing something right as far as being a good city for me. Yeah, I'm far from done with Thailand. I mean, it's, you know, like I tell everybody when they say, are you retired there? And I say, look at it, yes I am, but if the mood strikes me tomorrow, I'll pick up my bags and be going somewhere else. So they have. Now this temple is unrecognizable to many people because they usually only see it during the Sunday walking street. And there's shops just lining up all over, and inside there is a huge food area. So they really don't, they don't see all of the temple in its full glory, and it is a beautiful temple. Don't worry, they're wax figures. Oh, there's a little street I've never been down. Cat's Kitchen. I've heard of that place. It's supposed to be really, really good. Well, there you go. 6 years. Small section of Old Town, and I've never seen this place before. Huh. Honda Big Wing. That's what it was called. Honda Big Wing. Okay, enough gabbing about. I'm gonna go for my coffee now. That was just a short ride, a typical, normal ride. And thanks for coming along. We'll talk to you later.